mga kababayan natin at outside of the major cities para po talagang ma-convince natin silang lahat na magpabakuna na po. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Secretary Nograles, you can proceed.
Ayong adlaw, Mr. President, Senator Bongo at mga kasama natin sa gabinete, mga kababayan. Yung presentation ko po ay tungkol sa accomplishments ng Philippine Space Agency. Isa po itong opisina na nasa ilalim po ng Office of the President. Mr. President, ito pong PhilSA ay na-establish po sa pamamagitan ng batas na inyong pinirmahan noong 2019. Ito yung Republic Act number 11363 or an act establishing the Philippine Space Development and Utilization Policy at nag-create ng Philippine Space Agency po natin. Next slide. Tungkulin po ng PhilSA, bahagi ng tungkulin po nila na tulungan ang iba't ibang mga kagawaran at ahensya ng ating gobyerno in the utilization ng space science and technology applications. Pati na rin po yung mga data and information na makukuha natin. At katuwang po natin ang PhilSA sa ating Task Force on Zero Hunger, lalong-lalo po yung mga programa for food security by providing us with satellite data. Next slide. Halimbawa po, dito sa accomplishment report ng PhilSA, makikita po natin kung paano nagagamit ang satellite data para sa pag-identify ng mga productive areas in our municipal waters for fishing management. Isa rin po ito sa mga strategies ng Task Force Zero Hunger for food security. Next slide. Yung naging kapaki-pakinabang din po at napapanahon sa gitna ng pandemya, yung pag-utilize ng various technologies natin using PhilSA at pag-harness ng space technology. Kasama po dito yung Space Data Dashboard na launch, yung COVID-19 Space Data Dashboard, para mas maintindihan at maunawaan natin ang effects or impacts ng COVID-19 sa paggamit po ng satellite data. Next slide. So halimbawa, dito sa COVID-19 Space Data Dashboard na joint effort ng PhilSA at DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute at ng Space Technology and Applications Mastery Innovation and Advancement or Stamina for Space Program. By the way, this is publicly accessible satellite data na makikita sa PhilSA website. Ay makikita po natin dito yung pre- and post-pandemic environment ng country, katulad ng data on traffic, air quality, water quality, and night lights. At nagagamit ito to formulate better policy responses for COVID-19 related matters. Next slide. Mahalagang accomplishment din po ng PhilSA yung key development area on space education and awareness. Halimbawa, providing capacity building for the Philippine Navy, our Air Force, and Coast Guard. Ang pag-conduct ng mga webinars that are open to the public, and yung scholarship program na nilaunch din po ng PhilSA. Ito po yung AD-ASTRA or Advanced Degrees for Accelerating Strategic Space R&D and Application Scholarship Program, kung saan we encourage Filipino students to pursue postgraduate studies in space science, space industry, space diplomacy, space engineering, space law and policy, and space economics. Importante po ito for economic development post-pandemic and training and support for our future generations of scientists and engineers. Para mas mapalawig pa natin ang kakayahan at maging kabahagi ng ibang nations in the region sa pagpapalitan ng kaalaman. Next slide. PhilSA also engages in international cooperation and promotes Philippine interest in the UN Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, the UN ESCAP Regional Space Applications Program for Sustainable Development, the Asia-Pacific Regional Space Agency Forum, the ASEAN Research and Training Center for Space Technology, and the ASEAN Subcommittee on Space Technology and Applications. Next slide. Sa larangan naman ng space research and development, ay PhilSA has conducted a decadal survey. This is a 10-year plan that charts the nation's future in space through responsive and innovative missions. Nag-develop din po ang PhilSA ng Mula satellite and will soon launch the program called Incentivize. Dito sa decadal survey, ito po ay to ensure effective response to the current and future needs of our country for the next 10 years as basis for our priority missions and sustainable conduct of space-based Earth systems, science programs, and technology applications. Next slide. So ito po yung initial output ng decadal survey, our preliminary roadmap for satellite missions for our country for the period 2021 to year 2030. Next slide. Very exciting times for us in the Philippines pagdating sa space technology. Last Wednesday po, October 6, the first Philippine university-built cube satellites, Maya 3 and Maya 4, were successfully deployed from the International Space Station. Ito po ay na-develop under the Stamina for Space program of the DOST. Ito mga satellites ng Maya 3 at Maya 4 will stay in low Earth orbit around 400 kilometers above ground, will circle the planet every 1.5 hours. We'll be testing red, green, and blue and near-infrared cameras at magte-take ng images and videos to allow collection ng data from remote ground sensors like temperature, humidity, wind speed. This is actually implemented by the UP Diliman in partnership with the Kyushu Institute of Technology in Japan. Bukod po dito, meron din po tayong ibang satellites na nakadeploy, also developed under DOST. Maya 2 is currently in space after being launched in February and deployed into orbit in March of 2021. Maya 1, yung predecessor po, was launched into space in June 2018 and deployed and then returned to Earth in December 2020. And the first two microsatellites natin, Diwata 1 in 2016 and Diwata 2 in 2018. Yung Diwata 1, decommissioned na po, but Diwata 2 remains in space. At ito yung pinakabago natin, being developed, ang Mula satellite, being developed by PhilSA under its Advanced Satellite for the Philippines project. The satellite data to be captured by Mula will be real-time data on disaster management, coastal monitoring, and ocean studies, and agriculture. We expect to launch this in year 2023, and it will help us crop nutrient monitoring, crop growth and stress detection, crop expansion, land use, and land cover change analysis. Last na lang po, itong pinakabago, next slide. Pinakabago na isa sa mga, kumbaga, sagot natin in terms of improving internet connectivity sa ating bansa. Ito yung internet access and connectivity utilization of space science and technology applications. Incentivize po ang tawag nito ng PhilSA, which stands for Introducing Non-Geostationary Satellite Constellations Test Deployments to Improve Internet Service. So this is one of the ways that we can improve internet service in the country through satellite technology. po, Mr. President, that ends our presentation. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Secretary Nograles, for that informative piece of yours. Ang ganda. Umabot na pala tayo. Ang mga kalaban natin nandito pa sa baba. I'm referring to the pandemic and epidemic that visits our country periodically. But this pandemic is sa ating generation. At matindi talaga. Alam mo, every time magsalita ako dito, tatlong bagay lang talaga. Lahat kayong mga Pilipino, makinig kayo. Parang galit ako na hindi ako galit. Yung lahat ng pinag-uusapan namin dito, on all the hours of talking to you and presenting what is happening to our society, can be best answered by tatlo lang eh. Tatlo lang talaga. Bakuna, magmaskara ka, iwas. That is all there is to it. Lahat ng pinagdadaldal namin dito would converge into one single sentence. Kaya yan na lang ang ipagbilin ko sa iyo na sana sundin ninyo. Kasi yan talaga ang pangpawala ng sakit ng ulo sa bayan natin. Magpabakuna, alam ko marami pang ayaw eh. Iyan ang problema, yung ayaw. Ayaw magpabakuna. Kaya hanapin ninyo yan sa barangay ninyo. Akyatin natin pagtulog at turukin natin ang natutulog para makumpleto yung istorya. Kung ayaw akyatin sa bahay tusukin natin sa gabi. Ako ang I will lead the journey. So, mga kababayan ko, this ends our program. I hope that I said everything that has been said here since the beginning has always been centered on one important factor, and that is really the vaccine. Meron tayong bakuna, marami na dumating. Pasalamat tayo kay Secretary Garbel. Then may we make use of that so that you can help the country and our fellow human being. Maraming salamat po.
Sa dami ng virus mutations ngayon, nagkakaroon na ng diskriminasyon sa mga bansa kung saan nanggaling ang virus.
Whenever these variants are detected all over in other countries, it ends in stigmatizing that country or those people from that country. And then the other people in those places start looking at them with suspicion, like, okay, you're bringing this to our country, right? So that's what we want to minimize, because it's not the people, it's the virus, right?
nga ba galing ang pangalan ng virus mutations?
At sa the beginning, ang ating mga audience familiar sa pangolin kasi naririnig ninyo kami nagsasabi na B.1, .1.7. No? So it's really based on a global phylogenetic tree. But what is the meaning of pangolin? So pangolin po is called the phylogenetic assignment of named global outbreak lineages. So this is really an application that was developed by the UK SARS-CoV-2 or Coronavirus Genomics Consortium. So they developed this lineage para matulungan yung global community. First, malalaman natin yung interrelatedness at kung paano nag-evolve ang virus.
Kamakailan inilabas ng World Health Organization ang new naming system para sa COVID-19 virus mutations.
We have the pangolin system at saka meron din next strain, may decade, na yung haba ng mga pangalan nila at saka siguro mga scientists lang ang makaalala. So nag-isip talaga yung ating WHO ng isang system na padali sila maintindihan na ang qualification should be non-stigmatizing and easy to remember.
We had a very large committee of experts joining WHO. Many of these people are scientists. They are not WHO people. They are global experts. We could find what is the consensus we can arrive so that we do not stigmatize people and countries. And after much discussion, they decided that it's best that we use the Greek alphabet to identify these variants of concern or variants of interest.
Isa-isahin natin ang Greek letters na naka-assign sa bawat variant of concern o ang mga virus strains na mas nakakahawa. Nagiging sanhi ng severe disease at maaring may epekto sa bakuna.
So, if we look at the variants of concern, now we identify clearly 4 variants of concern. The alpha was what we knew as the B117 variant or the UK variant. The beta is the B1351 variant or what was known as the South African variant. The gamma or the P1 variant is the variant that was originating from Brazil, and then we have the latest, the Delta variant or the B16172 variant, which is linked to India. So these are the 4 variants of concern that WHO is asking countries to monitor very carefully because each of these variants of concern have unique characteristics linked to them.
Samantala, narito naman ang mga Greek letters na napili para sa mga variant of interest o yung mga virus na mayroong kakaunting pagbabago mula sa mga naunang variants at hindi pa makukonsider na lubhang nakakahawa o may epekto sa bakuna.
So in line with that, we have what we call the epsilon variant or the variant of interest, which is epsilon, which is linked to the US, originally recorded from the US. We have the Zeta variant or the P2 variant, which is again linked to Brazil. We have the Eta variant or the B1525 variant, which has been recorded from multiple countries. We have the Theta variant or the P3 variant, which was the variant we detected from the Central Visayas in the Philippines originally. We have the Iota variant or the B1526 variant, which was also detected in the US. And we have the Kappa variant or the B16171 variant, which was also detected in India. And finally, we have the Lambda variant or the C37 variant, which was detected in Peru.
Sa ngayon, naka-alerto ang buong mundo sa Delta variant dahil mas mabilis itong makahawa kumpara sa ibang variants.
Pero yung Delta variant, kaya niya mag-infect ng 5 hanggang 8 tao. In addition to that, it appears to be more transmissible, probably 60% more transmissible kaysa sa UK or the Alpha variant, no? So sabi ng mga scientists, parang yung fitness na to infect, yung pagkapit sa cells, mas na-refine pa, no? Tapos pang-tatlo, parang ang kanyang symptomatology, yung mga symptoms na nakikita ng mga doktor natin, parang nag-iba.
Nababahala rin ang mga siyentipiko dahil sa mataas na posibilidad na ma-ospital ang sinumang tamaan ng Delta variant.
People are more likely to be hospitalized with the Delta variant. This comes from the Scottish study that was published in the Lancet Journal nitong June 14 lang. Sinasabi nila na may double daw na risk of hospitalization compared to the Alpha variant. Grabe, may Alpha variant na, tapos the Alpha variant, itong Delta variant, double double the risk of hospitalization. So these are the early signs of the Delta variant. And there's a possibility na baka yung mga bata ang kanyang mga na-infect at na-spread. Pero syempre, wala pa tayong consensus doon sa mga bata kasi yung iba suggests na most likely, yung iba naman hindi. But also because marami kasi sa mga bata, hindi pa sila na-vaccinate, di ba? Since hindi sila na-vaccinate pa, posible talagang sila ang ma-infect at sila ang makapag-spread. So this is also an area that is also concerning.
Umaasa ang mga eksperto na tuluyan ang mawawala ang diskriminasyon sa mga bansang pinagmula ng virus dahil sa bagong naming system.
And so we need to undo that a little, but hopefully in the future, because we now have these Greek lettering, we can prevent future stigmatization of other locations and other countries, because certainly the Delta variant is not the last variant that is going to happen, right? There's going to be other variants that appear.
Paalala ng mga eksperto, patuloy na i-monitor ang Delta variant at tiyaking makuha ang 2 doses ng bakuna para mas protektado.
One vaccine dose is less effective. Pero pag dalawa, strongly protective. Kaya very important na matapos mo yung 2 doses. Very, very important for everyone not to be complacent. We should always practice the minimum health standards for our establishments, to have the proper engineering controls or measures in ventilation as well as in social distancing to ensure that everyone is safe, and also to keep our families, our neighbors, our colleagues, our friends and the community safe.
So we are working together with the government to see how much we can delay a potential arrival and spreading of the Delta variant, because the way we see it, we have a very unique window that if we can hold out the Delta for long enough and vaccinate as many elderly and comorbid people, we will prevent people falling severely ill and dying during the next surge. So that's why we continue to say, use the vaccines you have now to protect those most vulnerable people, because when the surge happens, then you won't see a lot of deaths.
Ang Moderna vaccine ay ginawa sa United States, mainly funded by the National Health Institute sa US, sa grupo nila ni Anthony Fauci. Kaya in terms of reputation, maganda talaga ang bakuna na to at talagang inaasahan natin na isa siya sa mga bakuna na mas matagal at durable ang protection sa atin.
Matapos ang Pfizer vaccine, ating kilalanin ang ikalawang COVID-19 vaccine na mula sa Estados Unidos, ang Moderna. Pero paalala lang ha, sabi ng mga eksperto, ligtas at epektibo ang anumang bakuna na may EUA mula sa FDA.
So sa sitwasyon natin ngayon, sa pandemic, mataas pa rin ang transmission at mataas ang kaso. With that in mind, mataas pa rin ang hawaan, at pangalawang reason nito is limited ang supply ng bakuna. Kung hihintayin natin at meron tayong tinatawag na brand preference, mas maging delikado sa atin yan.
Saan nga ba gawa ang Moderna vaccine?
Ang Moderna vaccine ay isang bagong platform ng mga bakuna na ginagamit natin ngayon. Kagaya ng Pfizer na ginamitan ito ng genetic material ng virus using the mRNA. So itong mRNA, nagsisend siya ng signal pag ibabakuna doon sa tao to stimulate para mag-produce tayo ng antibody against the COVID virus. Ito isang bakuna na so far sa mga bakunang ginagawa ngayon against COVID na masasabi natin bagong teknolohiya, pero isa sa mga safe and highly effective vaccine, kagaya rin ng Pfizer vaccine. So, sa indikasyon sa bakunang ito ng Moderna, ang makatanggap lang ay edad 18 pataas. Ang pagbibigay nito ay yung unang dose, tapos yung pangalawang dose after 4th week. So 28 days ang pagitan.
Kagaya ng ibang COVID-19 vaccines, ang Moderna ay merong temperaturang sinusunod upang mapanatili ang kalidad ng bakuna.
Okay, so ang bakunang ito, no, yung sa storage, yung hindi pa siya gagamitin, no, dapat nandun siya sa -60 to -80. Pero pag tatanggalin na siya doon sa storage, tapos dadalhin doon sa vaccination site, pwede siyang ilalagay sa room air, room temperature, pero dapat hindi lalampas ng 5 oras na dapat ibibigay siya. Yung sa ice box naman, ma-maintain mo lang yung temperature na yun, ano yun eh, -4 yun. Ma-maintain mo lang yun, mga 5 to 7 days yan. So medyo mataas-taas pa naman. No?
Base sa personal na karanasan, napatunayan ni Philippine Ambassador to the US, Jose Manuel Romualdez, na ligtas at epektibo ang Moderna.
Well, I'm one of those that received was vaccinated as early as January of this year because we were attending the inauguration of President Biden, and I was fully vaccinated after 1 month. And it's the best thing that could ever happen to you. You feel liberated, and so Moderna and Pfizer have been proven to be really very effective. It's well worth it because you will feel safer. If there's a little side effect, that's just a little discomfort, but nothing like being safe from being seriously ill or even dying.
Isa-isahin natin ang efficacy rate ng Moderna vaccine.
Okay, so yung efficacy ay ito yung paraan na ma-evaluate natin na yung ginagawa itong trial, inobserbahan nila yung nakatanggap ng bakuna at yung hindi nakatanggap ng bakuna. At nakita doon sa clinical trial na yung mga nakatanggap ng bakuna kumpara doon sa mga hindi nakatanggap ng bakuna, mas maraming nagka-COVID doon sa hindi nakatanggap ng bakuna. So doon sa clinical trial, interim data, nakitaan na ang Moderna vaccine is effective sa pag-protect us from symptomatic COVID, no? Mild to moderate, 94%. So mataas siya na protection. Doon naman sa mga severe form, 100% ang protection niya. Doon naman sa mga may edad na, no? Kagaya ng 65 years old and above, it ranges from 80 up to 90%. No? So isa siya sa mga bakuna na maski may edad tayo, kampante tayo na mataas ang protection natin, no? Kagaya din ng mga ibang bakuna na Pfizer at saka AstraZeneca. Tapos, across all ages, ethnicity, race, at saka mga comorbidities, nagtala siya ng 85% efficacy rate.
Nilinaw din ni Ambassador Romualdez ang mga issue kung bakit tila kakaunti ang supply ng bakuna sa mga maliliit na bansa gaya ng Pilipinas.
You know, many countries, I know that there is an accusation that all the rich countries were able to sort of like hoard all of these vaccines. Well, I guess I wouldn't really call it hoarding, but I guess they were all trying to sort of like making it easier for them to be able to get these vaccines immediately to their citizens. And of course, the United States, being the leading manufacturer or developer of these vaccines, President Biden set out a goal. They're about 3 to 4% short of the 70%, which is supposed to be the herd immunity in getting people vaccinated, be able to make it safe, so to speak. That is the goal of the world, actually. And the COVAX facility is supposed to help in giving us that kind of herd immunity. And now, since many countries that have been able to get access to these vaccines immediately are now spreading it out. And we're hoping that the speed up of these vaccines being made available to all the countries, especially in our region, in the Asian region, will be coming in more.
Patuloy din ang pag-aaral ng mga eksperto tungkol sa booster shot o yung tinatawag na reformulated Moderna vaccine.
Yes, no, meron na silang tinatawag na third dose of Moderna na ongoing yung phase 2 trial nila ngayon. No? Ang tawag nito is reformulated Moderna vaccine that contains the variant 351. No? So, ito yung plano nila na after receiving the 2 doses, meron silang isasabay na third dose as booster para lang tumataas ang antibody natin, including against variants of concern.
We need to sort of like have a booster shot because some of the vaccines that were already given or vaccinated with the other people, inoculated to people, may need these booster shots. So that's why we're really ordering more
than what we maybe as of now we may not need it, but at the end of the year and early next year we will be needing all these vaccines.
Dahil sa pagtutulungan ng pamahalaan at iba pang sektor, asahan ang karagdagang supply ng Moderna vaccine sa ating bansa.
Well, the vaccines coming from Moderna will be, we have ordered 20 million of this, 7 million of which will go to the private sector and 13 million to the public sector. So the 20 million, we are targeting that it'll be delivered to the Philippines before the end of this year. The total number of vaccines that we're hoping to get, including Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, will probably be anywhere between 70 to 80 million doses.
O ayan na, marami ng supply ng bakuna. Ano pang hinihintay mo? May vaccination schedule ka na ba? Palagi po nating pakatandaan, sa bawat turok ng bakuna, di lang ikaw ang protektado, kundi maging ang iyong pamilya at komunidad.
Ano man yung bakunang ibibigay sa iyo, ito ay subok, ito ay safe, ito ay effective, aprobado ito ng Philippine FDA natin, at nakita natin na lahat ng bakuna ngayon ay will prevent severe and critical stage ng COVID.
There is no doubt that the COVID-19 vaccines are the most effective way to fight the virus. This has been proven here in the United States, as we all know, and that's the reason why we worked closely with Secretary Carlitos Galvez in bringing in the Moderna vaccines. So we're urging everyone to take the vaccines, whatever the vaccines available. The kind of freedom that we've been used to, being able to move around, will come back to us as soon as everyone is vaccinated.
So ito yung dalawa sa 8 na natin so far na nabigyan ng EUA dito sa Pilipinas. Yung Janssen vaccine ay ito, dinevelop ng kumpanyang Johnson & Johnson. At ang pagkakaiba dito sa ibang bakuna ay 1 dose lamang ang kinakailangan sa kanya.
Ang kaisa-isang COVID-19 vaccine na kailangan lamang ng 1 dose ay nasa Pilipinas na. Ang Johnson & Johnson vaccine o kilala rin sa tawag na J&J.
Johnson & Johnson yung bigger na manufacturing na may mga drugs. Ang Janssen ng vaccine R&D nila. Kaya yan, interchangeable. Pag sinabi kong Johnson & Johnson or Janssen, J&J, actually mas madali ata yung J&J, yan yung vaccine na yan.
Yung namang Janssen vaccine ng Johnson & Johnson, ito ay adenoviral vector vaccine. So ang kapareho naman niya, medyo kakawig niya would be yung AstraZeneca na bakuna at saka yung Sputnik V. Ito ay mga gumagamit ng adenovirus na usually ang dinudulot ng masakit sa atin, mga sipon, very mild, tapos nilalagyan sila ng kapiraso ng COVID virus para kapag in-inject sa atin ay makapag-develop tayo ng antibodies against the COVID pero hindi tayo magkakasakit na malagay.
Alamin natin ano-ano nga ba ang efficacy rate ng J&J.
Moderate to severe, 62 to about 65%. And then this is measured 14 days and 28 days after the vaccination. Okay? So, mas tumataas habang tumatagal yung interval na minessure mo yung efficacy. And then, yung moderate to severe to critical, nasa 76 to 85%. And then, hospitalization nasa 93 to 100%. Kaya, di ba, ang naging rekomendasyon ngayon ng DOH ay sa A2 ibibigay ang ating Janssen na vaccines kasi mataas na ang kanilang protection dito sa yung mas nakaka-apekto sa ating mga senior citizens.
Sa dami ng mutations ng COVID-19 ngayon, gaano nga ba ka-epektibo ang bakunang J&J laban dito? Base sa bagong pag-aaral ng mga eksperto, tumaas ang titer o bilang ng antibodies sa katawan ng mga nabakunahan ng J&J.
Ngayon, may data ba si Janssen? Actually, meron. So, after 8 months, ang titer ng antibody na nabigyan ng Janssen na 1 dose against dun sa una, yung prototype strain. Ito yung parent strain, yung Wuhan strain, ha? Nasa 184. So, bilang na lang yan, bilang, titer, dami ng antibodies. Then, tinest nila dun sa alpha variant. Ito yung UK variant na tinatawag natin. So, 147 ang titer. So, hindi na rin masyadong malayo kasi 184, 158, 147. Yung kappa, ito yung similar or galing sa lineage ng delta. Kappa, delta, epsilon yung isa, no? Yung kappa, 171. Hindi na rin masama compared sa parent. Pero doon sa delta, actually naman talaga yung mas mataas ang transmission kaysa doon sa kappa na pinsan niya at yung epsilon na pinsan niya, 107. So, mabababa na yun. Gamma, medyo mataas pa yung sa Brazil, 129. Epsilon at 87 lang ang type.
Babala ng mga eksperto, walang konkretong patunay na may kaugnayan ng pagkakaroon ng GBS o Guillain-Barré syndrome sa mga nabakunahan ng J&J.
Guillain-Barré syndrome is actually autoimmune siya eh. So may nangyayaring response na nasisira yung mga nerve cells, yung mga neurons. So kaya ang nangyayari, mahihina sila at malimit ang Guillain-Barré syndrome ay nangyayari after either nag-vaccinate or nagkaroon ng viral infection or even sa bacterial infections. So anong mararamdaman? Pwede na mayroong muscle weakness, tapos yung parang tingling, yung mga ganon. At yung iba, medyo hirap talagang makalakad. So yung iba naman, nag-resolve din after a few weeks, pero yung iba nagkakaroon ng sequela. Yung ibig sabihin, medyo nagtatagal yung mga nararamdaman nilang mga symptoms. Pero siguro dapat lang natin din sabihin, it's rare, pero kung iisipin mo, ang benepisyo ay mas malaki pa rin di tama kaysa doon sa possibility nitong rare event na to.
Siguro nagtataka kayo, bakit nga ba maraming COVID-19 vaccine brands ang meron tayo ngayon dito sa Pilipinas?
Ang bansa natin kasi, ang ating pamahalaan, ang Task Force on COVID, at saka yung IATF, at yung vaccination committee natin, talagang bumibili kasi sila ng bakuna sa maraming kumpanya. Kasi napakarami natin kailangan, no? Para makabakuna tayo ng 70 million na tao, kailangan natin mga 140 million na doses. Sa ngayon, pinag-aagawan kasi ng bakuna sa buong mundo. At walang isa o dalawang kumpanya lamang na kaya tayong isupply ng buong 140 million doses. So, ang nabibili ng ating pamahalaan, 20 million dito, 30 million doon, 40 million doon. So, para makabuo tayo ng enough para mabakunahan lahat ng Pilipino, talagang kailangan bumili sa iba't-ibang kumpanya. Of course, kapag nakita natin na sobra-sobra na ang supply, maaari na tayong tumigil ng pagbibigay ng authorization. Ganon din naman kapag meron na talagang fully approved na produkto, no? Yung natapos na lahat ng development niya, tapos pwede na siya ng commercial marketing authorization. Pag gano'n, titigil na rin tayo sa pagbibigay ng
Mula nang magsimula ang pagbabakuna sa bansa laban sa COVID-19, malaki ang naging improvement sa vaccine confidence ng mga Pilipino.
Siyempre, masaya ako na tumaas. Actually, may vaccine envy. O tawagin natin vaccine fever. And I think people now realize na pag bakunado ka, kumbaga meron kang passes para magawa ang marami-rami, no? Makakalakad ka sa ibang lugar, makakasalamuha ka. And of course, sa ngayon, makakasalamuha ka lang sa mga bakunado din. So, we're very happy with that.
Well, malaking bagay yun. Mabuti naman natutuwa tayo at yung mga kababayan natin nagbabago na yung isip nila, no? Dahil wala naman tayo talagang pagod pag-i-explain kung ano ang kakamutihan pa inulit ng bakuna, kung bakit natin ito kailangan. At nakakatawa ko na halos dumoble na yung mga kababayan natin na naniniwala at gusto magpapakuna. Yun po sana mga may konting duda pa. Magtanong po kayo sa health worker na inyo, malapit sa inyo, sa inyo pong center, sa inyo pong municipal health officer, o yung mga doktor ninyo na personal, para po ma-explain nila sa inyo kung ano po ang benepisyo at kung ano po yung mga risk at bakit dapat po tayo magpapakuna.